Hey guys, sorry this video is up a little bit late, but it's here nonetheless. This week's theme is all about things that scare you, and I could get really deep and philosophical, and maybe it'd be interesting if some people did this week and talk about things that, you know, scare me in life, but I'm just gonna go for like surface things that scare me, as in boo, kind of scared, because it's Halloween coming up and I fully embrace autumn, and within autumn is Halloween, so yay, Halloween! Really random things scare me in, like, I'm not scared of that many horror films. Usually I find them more funny rather than scary, or just gross. Things like Saw, like any gory films don't scare me, they just kind of gross me out. But I still like watching them because it's kind of, like, it's fun to get grossed out sometimes. Like last Halloween I watched this film, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like basically where people are like taken hostage and then people pay loads of money to like do whatever they want with them. So some people like eat them, some people just like cut them and bathe in their blood. It's like gross because these are like really messed up people, but that was basically what the film was about, and Saw's just like gross. The people who think of these things are like cray cray, but I quite like watching them. But anyway, those things don't scare me. Also films with like fantasy-esque horror films don't really scare me, like monsters and like ghosts and ghouls and things, like they're not really scary to me and they never really have been. I would say I'm not someone who scares easily because I've never been like scared of the dark or anything like that, but if you jump out at me, so help me Lord, I will scream. My sisters jump out at me all the time. Just anyone who does that, I scream. Like, it seriously freaks me out when people like jump out with me when they're not there. And the thing I'm probably most scared of in terms of horror movie-esque fears is like someone following me or someone being there when I can't see them. Like the scariest moments in my life have probably been walking up my corridor to get to my bedroom, which is at the end of the house, when it's pitch black and you're like walking through it like, I know there's something there, I know there's something there, but you just have to keep walking. Like when me and my biggest sister were younger, we watched this one episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which now I watch back and laugh at because it's still kind of creepy to me, but it's such bad effects, it's almost painful. But it was like set in hospital, and there was this guy called, I think he was just Death or something, I don't know, but you can't see him unless you're a kid, and he sits in your bed and he was just like, freaky, freaky, and he scared the living daylights out of me. Me and Emma were freaked by this episode. I had to sleep in her room, we had to keep the lights on, have the radio on all night, we were like and even now watching it, it brings up memories. Similarly to that, in that I'm also scared by something which isn't even that scary, is Jeepers Creepers, the film. I watched it by myself when I was fairly young, in my living room, and it was dark outside, and I don't know, I think it was the music, just the Jeepers Creepers, and I love Louis Armstrong, and he has that song on the album that I have of his, and it makes me upset because I just skip it every time because it's like, and it's such a bad film. Such bad effects even, but it's just the idea of like, I don't know what it was that was so scary to me, but loud noises, people jumping out, like just sudden things. Like if anyone watches Merlin, there was the latest episode of Merlin is where Uther, as in King Arthur's dad, he died last series, but in this one he kind of came back as like a ghosty thing, and when he was around on screen he wasn't scary, he was just a bit blue. But it was the fact that you couldn't see him most of the time, and then suddenly things would like happen, like a shield would drop and it would make a loud noise. It's the suspense that gets to me, like the tension. Oh, like scary like that. Actually, Women in Black I found quite scary because it's, once again, it's like things just suddenly, it's the suspense and the tension basically. Films with that in them scare me to a certain extent, because stuff like Paranormal Activity is like that, but I watched Paranormal Activity, jumped every time it happened, then giggled at the fact I was jumping, because it wasn't scary, it's just that it made me jump, if you know what I mean. But things that could happen to me are the things that scare me the most. Like, I remember watching Blair Witch Project with my dad when I was really young, and he made me, like, convinced that it was real life footage, because that's the way it's meant to like be filmed and stuff, and I was freaking out. I was like, there's a witch in a shed, and then like when they like had the little like bones and stuff, I was like, oh my god, I hate things that like are real but they're not. Oh man, oh man. But yeah, ghosty things aren't really that scary to me. Long fingers incidentally also freak me out. There's this episode of Supernatural where there's like this witch who like sucks the life out of children in a similar way that the Death character does in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But there'll be like twigs at the window, and then suddenly they'll like become her hand, and they'll like do that on the windowsill, and then the window will go up, and then oh no, freaks me out. I hate long fingers. I went to see Mary Poppins a while ago in the West End, and there's this really creepy like scene in the musical where like the kids have been bad or something and all the toys come to life and they're really mean, and there's like this dollhouse and there was this clown, I think, and he had like really long fingers for some reason, and he stuck them out the windows in the dollhouse, and I was like, oh, it was horrible. I hate long fingers, bony, blah. It's just creepy. So this video probably wasn't even that great, it's just me telling you what scares me, so if you ever want to scare me, just make sure it's dark and then just jump out at me. I will scream, I'll crouch down on the floor and cry. It's happened on many occasions, just with my sisters jumping out at me. Even in the comfort of my own home, like it's a comforting setting, and yet it still kills me every time. Right, so I will see you next week for hopefully another kind of spooktacular theme. Yay! Bye!